Coach Fisher. How you doing?
Fine. How are you?
Doing great. Talk about how did you control the Miami running game on Saturday night? They have two running backs, very good. A couple games ago, they both of them rushed over 100 yards. How did you shut them down in the second half?
Well, I think first the physicality of our defensive front. Our defensive front did a great job of winning the line of scrimmage, being physical, denting the line of scrimmage, changing the line of scrimmage, making things bubble, and allowing our backers and safeties to fit very well. And our ends kept great contain on the ball. And the physicality up front was the key.
And playing Wake Forest this week, they're 5-1. They're actually a better improving Wake Forest team that everybody doesn't give them credit for. So what do you see on film that might give us problems on Saturday?
A lot, everything, all three phases. This is a really good football team. They're well coached, and they're playing with great confidence. Like I say, they're junior and senior oriented, so there's going to be an environment, an atmosphere. These guys have done this, been there, done that, and they're playing very well in all three phases. Like I said before, I mean, they're a really good football team, and they play together. They play to each other.
Well, good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Hey, Coach Dave, how you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Doing great. How difficult it is to play down Tallahassee, being a road team down there? How difficult it is for road teams to actually punctuate and get out of there with a win?
Well, I mean, it's very difficult. It starts with the quality of the opponent. I mean, they've got good players and really good coaches. So, and they have a great tradition and a really strong fan base, and it gets loud. So Florida State's a great program, and I think anytime a team has really good players and good coaches, it's always hard to go to their home field and beat them.
Mm-hmm. And also, your run defense is doing really well this year. That's something that might help you stop Davin Cook, but you saw last week Miami tried really hard to stop him, and he still gets his yards. Davin Cook is just a different type of running back, or you think he's one of those special running backs that you
I think
play
he's special. He has everything a great running back needs. He has very good open field speed. He has really good vision. He has burst. He has the ability to make people miss in tight spaces. And he's a home run hitter, but he can also get tough yards. He can push the pile. So, I mean, there's nothing that he doesn't do exceptionally well.
Mm-hmm. Well, I hope you have a safe trip down to
FM Radio in Baltimore.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Talk about playing a team like Maryland on film. What are the three keys for you guys to pull out a victory at Maryland Stadium?
Well, the one thing is we're going to have to tackle well. They're extremely athletic and spread the field, and the quarterback running game, you pick up the extra blocker in the box, and so we're going to have to leave an extra defender close to the box or around the box to not give up the big plays on the perimeter. So definitely a challenge for how athletic they are on offense, and then defensively, Coach done a good job of mixing up the front. And so we're going to have to do a good job of the front recognition, and so we're able to get a hat on a hat and give us a chance in our running game and pass protection.
Is it hard to play against a team that you have never played before? Because I know this is the first time Minnesota's playing Maryland in a regular season game. Is it hard to get ready for a game like that?
I don't know that it's hard to get ready, but obviously there's some unknowns there, athletic ability-wise. Just sometimes it's hard to tell on film, and so that's the biggest thing is the true actual game day speed and all that. And since we haven't played them, how we'll actually compare on some of that is what's unknown.
Well, good luck this week.
Yeah, thank you.
Christopher Heidelherb, FM Radio in Baltimore.
Hey, Coach DJ, how you doing?
Doing great. How are you?
Doing great. I have a question. I was there at the game on Saturday up there in Penn State. Explain to folks what the targeting penalty is, because I saw a lot of targeting calls Saturday in different games. Yeah, so I was just wondering, can you explain to us what the targeting calls are?
Explain what the targeting call that we had in the game?
Yeah, in the game, and like the rules for it, because it seems like it's different rules for different games over time.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. Obviously, like a lot of things, it's a subjective call. The definition of targeting is when someone takes aim with the crown of their helmet
coaches really doing a better job of coaching, tackling, and the right way to do it. And I think the officials are getting better at calling it too, and seeing it the right way. So it's just the evolution of our game is part of it, and we certainly understand that and play by the rules.
And also, what are the 3 keys for you guys to play against Minnesota, to beat Minnesota? Because you haven't played them before. They seem like a very good team, and they've been in the bowl games the last couple of years. So
we need to win at the line of scrimmage. We got to stop the run on defense. Got to be able to run the ball effectively and protect on our offensive line. I think that's totally the key in this football game. So that's when we got to make improvements and corrections coming out last week, and our guys understand that.
Well, good luck in practice this week.
Okay, thank you.
We can take one more question for Coach.
Christopher Heidel with Herb Evan Lincoln.
Hey, Coach Brock, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing great. Talk about the 3 keys you guys got to do. You were just talking about William and Mary. For you, what are the 3 keys for you guys to pull out a win in that hostile environment down there in William and Mary?
Well, I think, first you look at it from a defensive standpoint, I think you have to stop the run. The Anderson kid's a terrific player, really dynamic, and you got to get him before he gets started. Create some situational football where you can limit the number of touches that he's able to get. We're going to have to get turnovers on defense and create more opportunities for us offensively. Offensively, without question, we're going to have to run the ball really well and control the clock and control the game. We're going to have to hit some explosive plays in the passing game to loosen things up and be able to do the things we want to do. And then you got to control the Dedman kid in the special teams area. He can change a game in one play, whether it's a kick, a pass. Last year in our game, they threw him a bubble screen behind the line of scrimmage. He turns it into a 60-yard touchdown on a broken play.
Right.
You really have to contain their explosive players and handle their scheme defensively. Those are the keys we're looking at.
Are you surprised that William and Mary's 0-3 in the conference with their this preseason they were ranked so high in the polls? Are you surprised they're 0-3?
Well, I don't have a whole lot of my thoughts about the preseason polls or my thoughts, but nothing really surprises me in the CAA. You see some of the results every week. It's incredibly challenging. You have to go out and play a really, really good game every single week, no matter what you do. And if you don't play your best, you're probably going to lose. If you don't get a break or two here or there, you're probably going to lose. And am I surprised they're 0-3? Again, I didn't expect them to be, but not a lot surprises me.
Okay. Well, I hope you have a safe trip down to Williamsburg this week. I hope you have good weather.
Appreciate you.
Heidel with Herb Evan Radio.
Hey, Coach Jimmy, how you doing?
Good.
I was looking at some couple of games in the last couple of games. Your run defense has been a situation that you guys have to fix. Is it something you guys have to fix on? Because you gave up a lot of running yards against JMU and the week before that.
Well, JMU is a very, very good running football team. Of course, I think 70 some of those yards were right at the end of the ball game when they popped the long run when the game was basically pretty much over at that point. But I thought for the most part we did all right in that we did not give them long gains, but they were going to get yards. And we're playing with some young people on defense, and they play hard. And sometimes they get out of the gaps, and sometimes they miss a tackle. But they're competing.
And you're 0-3 in the league. Is this the first time in a long while that you guys are 0-3? And what do you guys have to do to change that to make it back into a positive season?
Well, we got to win some games. that's pretty obvious, I think. And we're working towards that.
Well, good luck this week.
Thank you.
From Christopher Heidel with Herb FM Radio.
Hey, Coach Rob, how you doing?
Doing well, Chris. How are you?
Doing great. You going up to New Hampshire this weekend to play a Ivy League school. So, what do you see on the film with Dartmouth, and how you can pull out a big win up there?
They're really, really good. Defensively, they're ask New Hampshire how good they are. They're really, really good. These guys fly around. They're extremely disciplined. First things first, when you watch the film in general, you're looking for schematic mistakes or the guy that constantly makes schematic mistakes based on what they're doing. And, it's kind of a futile effort when you're going against Ivy League guys because they're supposed to be smarter than everybody else, so they don't really make any. dumb mistakes. And then you gotta find out where your matchups can be pretty good. They got some exceptional football players on that team. That's a really, really good football team.
And you said earlier in your conversation about not finishing the games in the fourth quarter the last 2 weeks. How are you going to fix that? Get your players' mindset that you got to finish. You're up 10 points going into the fourth quarter. You got to put that foot down and keep it down on them and don't give up and pull out a victory.
So we talked about getting back to some of the basics of what this program was built on, and that you just keep playing football until they tell you can't play anymore. Play as hard as you can until they tell you that, there's no more football to be played. And it goes back to winning 5 overtime, type games that you just keep on going, that you're never comfortable. And some got a little comfortable. We're going to get back to basics a little bit and make sure that not only we find a way to show up in the fourth quarter against great competition, but, no matter what hand we're dealt, we're going to find a way to finish versus great competition.
Well, I hope you have a good week of practice, and hopefully you fix all these issues.
Thank you.
FM Radio.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Hey, Chris, how you doing?
Doing great. You're at the bye week right now, going into the second half of the season. What do you like about your team, and what do you dislike about your team?
Well, I like them. I'll start there. The things we need to be more consistent, and everybody says that on game day. We need to be more consistent, though, in our preparation. There's no question we've had some really, really good weeks of preparation, but then we've had some others that haven't been so good. So I think the importance that our guys understand, particularly in a conference as difficult as CAA, we need to prepare properly. And then on both sides of the ball, we talked about this in our team meeting yesterday, both our rush defense and rush offense. Those are probably going to be, our biggest focuses. And from a total fundamental standpoint, technique standpoint, gap control on defense, run support on defense, making sure that we're putting our kids in the best scenarios from a run standpoint as I think bye weeks, particularly this time of year, and we had a similar one last year. It was a week later last year. I think they're a chance to kind of re-energize. Hopefully you get some guys that have been out. We've had our fair share of injuries, so hopefully we get some guys back here for Richmond. But then I think it's about narrowing your focus on specific things. I think sometimes as coaches you're trying to fix everything, and at the end of the day you end up fixing nothing. So I think narrowing our focus in what we need to address and then having a good plan to address it will be what we'll spend this bye week doing.
And with Richmond coming up next week at home, that's a big home game for you guys. And Richmond's 5-1, and they're going to play a tough game this week. So I guess you'll be watching that Richmond game and finding stuff to hopefully help you pull out a win.
Yeah, we'll do our preparation, and then we'll add this, most previous game to the cut-ups. And certainly, another great challenge with, Richmond, who we know is going to be a great program. And, it's a little ways away, but we'll do some preparation this week as well.
Well, I hope you have a nice bye week and relax, and hopefully you get ready for the second half.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, Coach Dino, how you doing?
Good, how you doing?
Doing great. Talk about Virginia Tech's defense. They don't give up a lot of running or passing. Let's talk about their defense and how you're going to solve that on Saturday.
Well, they're good, and they're really, really good. I think the average of their last 3 games is a score of 45 for the offense, 7 for whoever they're playing, and they're just fantastic. They've got good athletes. They got a good scheme. They play at a great tempo. They get out in front of people with the offense, and then their kicking game is good as always. So I can keep talking about how good they are, but all you do is look at the statistical numbers. You're halfway through the season. That stuff's going to carry weight. They are as advertised.
And what are the 3 things for you guys to pull out a victory, the keys to the game for you guys?
Well, I think the first thing always starts with taking care of the football. We had turnovers in our last game. We've got to make sure we don't turn the ball over them and give them extra opportunities. We probably need some turnovers from them. We need them to give us some balls, and then we need to make sure that we hold court or hold serve on special teams. We cannot allow them to win the kicking game. That would not be good for them.
Well, I hope you have a good weekend.
Thank you.
Hi, Bobby. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How's it going?
Doing great. What did you learn about your team during the bye week? Did you learn anything new about your squad, or did you finally get you're getting ready to take on Duke this Friday?
Yeah, we got a lot of pride on our team. It's always hard when you lose a very hard fought contest, and but I think we're working as hard as we can on bouncing back. They've shown a lot of resiliency and have come to practice and worked hard, been good in the meeting rooms, and we continue to have good leadership from within the team. So that gives us a chance to get back to where we know how to play and really excel here in the last part of the season.
I know Al was talking about earlier about Duke and their freshman quarterback. What else do you see on Duke's squad? They're 3-3. They beat Notre Dame. They kind of lost a couple of heartbreaker games in the middle of that. What do you see on tape that might give you problems Friday night?
Yeah, they're just a very well-coached football team. They do things right. They play with great technique and fundamentals. Their schemes are very sound, and they execute them well. They're a very smart football team. So we need to go out and play the type of football we're capable of playing.
Well, I hope you have a good Friday night, and hopefully you can pull out a big win.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Hey, Coach Larry. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing great. Talk about Miami's defense. They only give up 12.8 points a game, and last week they had a tough loss to Florida State, their rival. So just talk about their defense. They got a lot of underclassmen. They're pretty good. Like that Shaq guy. Shaq is a freshman linebacker. He's pretty good. So what do you see on their defense?
Well, I think Mark and Manny have them playing really well together. I mean, that's one thing. They're very deep up front in their defensive line. They're young at linebacker, but talented. And he's got he does a mixture of things with his defense that can create some issues for a football team. And so I think he's got them playing really well. They believe in what they're doing. They bought into it, and he set a new standard for them.
And have you seen a difference in Brad Kayak's this year from last year? He seems like he's developed better as a quarterback, but he's still developing as a junior quarterback. Do you see a lot of improvement on his side?
I think he's a very talented young man, and I think he gets better every week that he plays. I mean, I think as he gets more comfortable with the system that Mark's implemented, he'll even be better and better.
Well, I hope you don't have a lot of rain down there in Miami. I hope it's a nice sunny day, and you guys could pull out a big win.
That'd be nice. Thank you.